Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, and in this video I'm going to finally share with you my personal thoughts about the most recent leaked specs from Nikon rumors about the upcoming Nikon Zf. Let's get to it. Alright everyone, so as you know, we've been talking about this camera for at least a month now. This is my first video about it because it's getting to the point where I need to share with you my personal opinions. Even though I've been reading and watching others' videos about it, especially Wayne Maddox, go check out his channel. I'll leave a link to the description section of his channel for you to check out. And he just talked about two major features that may be in this camera, and it really inspired me to finally give my thought about this camera because I am actually pretty excited for it. So we're gonna head on over to nikonrumors.com and share with you my personal opinion. Let's get to it. All right, so here we are at nikonrumors.com, and you can see this is only 2 days ago. Today's the 14th, and these are the updated rumored Nikon Zf full frame retro mirrorless camera specs. So here are some leaked photos supposedly of the camera. You can see the Nikon logo is blacked out, probably taped or something like that. And but most importantly is the specs. Okay, I think there's a few things that we're gonna be excited about, and a few things it's whatever. Okay, first things first, we have image stabilization, which I would pray that was, I would assume it should have been in there in the first place. Like, why is that even bolded? Like, I don't know why at this point Nikon would release such a camera and not have IBIS in its full frame Z mount camera. Yeah, definitely wouldn't have been a good call to leave that out, especially after what we're enjoying out of the Z9 and Z8. That would have been stupid, but okay, so we have that. Max shutter speed, 1/8,000th of a second. So that's all right. That's not bad. Not bad. We have shutter selection options of manual, electronic, and auto, which is cool because that's, again, it's exactly what we've been enjoying out of our mirrorless cameras in general. Black camera body. I'm hoping they also have one that's like a black silver to add even more of a retro option for people, but maybe to cut down on cost, manufacturing, etc., and housing all these extra colors could be something. But if it's just a straight black, I think that's cool. But a black or like a silver with some black accent could be pretty nice. Something that looks like, you know, like this camera right here. Hello. You know, that would be kind of cool. Like this option would be pretty dope, right? But if it's all black, I'm sure most of us will be just fine. I don't want it to be like the ZFC where they have like light blue, powder pink, and brown. And no, I'm good. 24 megapixel BSI CMOS sensor. Now, I'm not the most familiar with this sensor, but it's definitely a new sensor in here. And check out Wayne Maddox video because he knows a lot of the technicalities and breakdown. So check out his video about breaking down that sensor. But I'm really interested to know not only what it could do, but why would they choose to put it in this particular camera? Okay, because I remember when the Z8 was rumored about their specs, everybody was hoping for another leap in sensor technology being placed in a Z8. And then, so in this case, it looks like it went to this camera and they just obviously kept everything pretty much the same from the Z9 and smashed it into the Z8. Now, I own both the Z9 and Z8. I absolutely love it. And this past weekend, I used the Z9 and Z8 together for a wedding, and they both smashed it. So shout out to Nikon for that. But here we go. It looks like a new type of sensor. So I'm curious to see what the potential is, what we can do with it, and what better experience can be added with the sensor. So that's going to be something I'm going to definitely keep my eye open. Now look at the weight. It's 700 grams. And with the battery included, it says, and the Z5 is 590 grams, and the Z6 II is 615. So it's really not that much heavier than the Z6 II body. So that's pretty cool. Dimensions, And I say it's pretty cool, quite honestly. I can't speak for you, but with the Z9 and Z8, I was really happy with the Z9. Obviously, I can't bring it everywhere due to its size and weight, but the Z8 fulfilled that need for me. When I got it, it still does. There were many times where I don't want to be out in public with a large camera due to safety reasons, and the Z8 allows me to put it in any camera bag that I personally own. So with this here, this is so far shaping up to be a great travel everyday camera. Okay, now dimensions: 144 millimeter by 101 millimeter. So unfortunately, I need some inches, but or some, millimeters I'm not good at, but we can. Let me see here. Yeah, I'll post a little thing on the bottom of what it is in inches. Okay, up to 30 frames a second, JPEG. Okay, that's obviously going to be good. Again, for me, when I'm thinking of this camera, I'm thinking street photography. I'm thinking every day. 30 frames a second is going to be more than enough. But what will it do in RAW? Because it says right here, JPEG and HEIF, 30 frames a second. Because that sounds like what we've been getting with the Z8, Z9, and it's 20 frames RAW, 30 frames. Yeah, I want to see what we can do here in RAW. I hope it's still the 20 frames a second, but to be continued. 4K 160 video. I pray to God it's 10-bit. That would be nice. That would be nice to have a compact camera that can deliver high-end quality video at the same time. Because for me as a content creator, I hate to bring two cameras everywhere I go, one dedicated to video due to its ability to capture high quality video, and then one for me to shoot with. So 4K, 422 10-bit, come on now. I hate to say it, but Lumix does it all day. And they do unlimited record time. Unlimited record time, 422 10-bit, okay, 4K. They've been doing this, so I know the technology is there. And they're doing it in full frame. That's right. With this camera I'm using right now is the Lumix S5 Mark II, does this unlimited record time. So it can be done. And it's not the price point, because this camera is about the same price point. So I'm hoping it gives me the same video capabilities as the Lumix S5 Mark II at least. Okay? And keep the autofocus of the Z8, Z9. I honestly, and that's the big thing is when camera brands come out with something, and the consumers are already used to the performance of their predecessors, it's going to be really painful for customers to go down a notch in performance. Let's just be honest, right? All right, USB-C, powered, awesome. Fast charging technology is going to be built in, which I love. I love that with the Z8. I love that with the Z9. I love it with this Lumix S5 Mark II. Like, USB-C powered is the now. I mean, if you don't have it, I don't know what you're doing. It's so much the now that even iPhones for next generations will be USB-C. So let's just be honest. This is the way it should be. I'm happy to hear it's this way because, again, if I'm traveling, I can charge while in a car, use my cigarette charger. I can charge in a hotel. I mean, this is it. I could charge in the airport while waiting for my flight. So this is great. I like to hear this because, again, my purpose of this camera is to have a travel camera, and in which I don't need to buy a whole new set of lens. If I could use the same Z lenses, I'm winning. And so I hope this is the case. ISO 100 to 64,000. Very cool. For compression, the Z6 II ISO range is 100 to 51. So you get a little bit more kick in there. I pray to God you're not shooting at 64,000, but it's there. EL15 batteries. Very cool. Now we're looking at potentially the same batteries as Z8, which is great because I have 5 of them and I certainly don't feel like buying some more. So if this comes with one, then I'll have 6. So that's really good. We have the ZF logo is moved to the left and it has been in the right, I guess, to this point. through rumored pictures and whatnot. So dual memory card slot. Now here's the interesting caveat. It has an SD and a micro SD. Okay, this is probably why the first reports came out with only one memory card slot. The second card slot could be hidden and be used just like the internal memory on some cameras. I want to know what you think down below. Would you have rather just two SD cards, or what do you think about this micro SD and and just regular standard SD? Personally, I rather have just two SD cards. If anything, I understand why they would do SD cards and not like, you know, CF Express or something like that, or XQD or something like that. I get that, the size. But I wonder what the process was thinking about the micro SD. I've never used micro SD outside of a GoPro, personally. I mean, it's so teeny and tiny. I feel like I'm going to break it just trying to put it in. So that's why I wish it was at least two SD card slots. Let me know what you think down below. Next thing, look at this. Pixel shift. Pixel shift. New high-res mode will be implemented for the first time in Nikon mirrorless cameras. But let me tell you, many cameras have pixel shift. They've had pixel shift. This technology has been there. And the one thing with Nikon is that we all love Nikon for their color, their glass, and image quality overall. So pixel shift should have been introduced in their camera system. Hell, in the Z9, quite honestly, and for sure the Z8. So I think it's great to have this, but the technology has been out there for a long time. Panasonic's G9, and we're talking that's 5 years old. Pixel shift. Since then, every camera they've had has pixel shift. Every full frame camera they've had. So the technology is out there, and I just wish this was kind of implemented a little bit earlier. I would like to see this in the Z8. That would have been cool. Because I've used pixel shift. It's really great to, instead of getting, let's just say hypothetically, you take 24 megapixel image standard, you know, full frame in the, and then it shifts, takes 4 pictures, and boom, now you have 96 megapixel image to work with. I've done it. It's great. Got to have a good tripod though. Again, I just wish this was introduced a little earlier. That could have been cool. Maybe the Z8 might have been too much with the megapixel size. That could have been it. But I'm just saying it's cool. It's a cool feature. I don't use it all the time, but I know landscape photographers would love it. Cityscape photographers would love it. Even real estate photographers would love it, right? A nice 96 megapixel image to work with outside of a home that's going to be on the market. Yeah, that's great. So shout out to this new feature. I just wish it showed up a little bit earlier. That's my only gripe, but it's a very cool feature. August to September announcement, shipped. So the shipment before the end of 2023. That's what they're supposedly saying is going to happen. That would be good because, quite honestly, that's right in line for Christmas. Why would you want to miss Christmas? Get it out, have it available, let's say October, and then sell right through Christmas. This is the time to make up for it. So far, Nikon is hitting it out of the ballpark with the Z9 and for sure the Z8. So it would behoove them to hurry up and get this one out and ride this right through the holidays. So I hope that is true. Improved autofocus compared to the Z5 and Z6 II. Okay. I hope it's... I wish it was the Z8 autofocus. Let's just be honest. The Z8 and Z9 autofocus is awesome. It's so reliable. I was getting stuff at the wedding this past weekend. Shout out to Photography, who invited me and hired me to be his second photographer for this long wedding. And the Z8 and Z9 was knocking it out of the park. Under low light conditions, high contrast, bright conditions, it was just knocking it out. So I pray I'm going to get the same performance out of this camera when it comes to autofocus. A few different lens kits. Bundles will be available. Okay, cool. Will be available in $2,000 to $2,500 price range. Okay, that's cool. I'm curious to see what that is. But so far it says the body, and I've heard this a few times, is going to be $19.99. So it's not the most expensive, but it's not the cheapest. But at the same time, remember, it is full frame. Okay. So that's pretty cool. And if it does great video and you're getting 30 frames a second, 20 frames at RAW, if that's possible, you're looking at a really nice travel camera. Seriously, like a real nice one. And again, since a lot of us have Z glass, finding a body at $19.99 that's gonna allow us to use full frame, that's not bad. That's not bad. Okay. And this looks, chock full of good features. One of the bundles will be with the Nikon 40mm f2. Okay. No new lens will be introduced with the ZF. I think that's cool. 70. I was hoping a 35, but a 40mm f2. That's definitely fun to have and to travel with. Go to a festival, etc. That's not bad at all. F2 is going to give you nice bokehs, nice separation. So cool. Very similar, but improved design layout from the Nikon ZFC. And that's what I was hoping for. I'm just hoping it's a metal body, that it's robust. I don't want it to feel like the ZFC. I was really disappointed with the lack of professional build, if you will. And when I got to Z8 and Z9, if you guys were with me in a wedding, I'm tossing my body here, I'm throwing a lens down there, I'm doing all sorts of stuff because I'm rapidly on the go, and I would like this camera to be as robust. If I'm traveling, I don't want a weak camera to travel with. So like again, let's go back to this bad boy right here. It is robust. Okay, the FE. This thing is robust. Give me this in mirrorless. That's it. Give me this robustness in mirrorless, and I'm gonna be a happy camper indeed. Okay. Small LCD screen on top for aperture display. Okay, I can live with that because again, if this is doing manual, then everything's very textile. I can see all my settings right here, right? I can see what my shutter speed. I can see, right there. I could adjust that. So I don't mind missing out on top display stuff. That's part of the retro vibe we're going for. New third function on the sub level of the shutter speed dial besides photo video for black and white mode. Oh, okay, that's cool. So like a nice quick mode to get right to black and white photos / video. That's pretty cool because I definitely would love to shoot some black and white with this and see how it compares to Fuji and get Derek with me and see how we like this camera as a travel / street photography camera. So stay on the lookout for that when that happens. Has a little grip bump like the Nikon DF. Okay. It is what it is. I mean, this one has zero grip. Let's be honest. This one has zero grip, right? Look at that. Smooth. Well, it's not smooth, but you get what I'm saying, right? So it is what it is. This seemed to help photographers get plenty of great photos back then. And again, we're going for the style. We're going for the retro style. I forgive him for that. Now, we have better build quality compared to the Nikon ZFC. Thank you, Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, everybody, whoever it is you get down with. Thank you. Because that the ZFC, initially, I was like, oh, this could be a cool, fun camera just to like every day. But then when I picked it up, I was definitely disappointed for sure. Fully articulating screen. I know some people may not like it, but I love it. I love it. I'm glad it has a full articulating screen because then it allows me to frame up like I'm doing right now. It allows me to get unique angles because believe it or not, during the wedding, I was shooting above, I was shooting below, I was shooting everywhere. Articulating screen is great. And again, if it does 4K up to 60 frames, 422 10-bit, which is what I hope, I want an articulating screen to shoot video with. So Shout out to Nikon for giving us great video out of the Z9 and Z8, but definitely this camera having an articulating screen is going to be clutch. This is going to be a camera that I can really take with me when I travel, and I plan to do more traveling, and because now I can use it to record videos on the go because of that articulating screen. So thank God. And quite honestly, people, I know people don't like articulating screens, but let me tell you, the build quality is no longer a thing. They're great. All these build qualities are great. Nikon has showed us with the back screen how it could flip and trip and everything else, and it's robust. It's robust. It's nothing. We're not talking about 5, 6, 7 years ago where we're like, oh my God, this thing's so dainty. That is a thing of the past. Okay? It allows us to get unique angles without breaking our back. That is the specs as of 2 days ago. Now, of course, this is Nikon rumors. It's all rumor. It's all speculation. I get it. I know. But I can say, honestly, at this point, this looks like it's going to be a very nice camera at a very fair price point, giving us full frame images. Fantastic. I don't need to buy new lenses for this thing. That's another fantastic thing. I won't be going broke trying to buy this thing. But it does actually serve a need for me. I'm actually going to contemplate this camera. I would like to know, again, how many raw frames per second do I get? I'm praying it's at least 20. Ironically, though, I use more of 10 frames a second, but I like to have the option of 20 if I needed it. What else is there? And the build quality. I got to know the build quality. I got to know, again, I hate to bring it up, that it's more like this FE camera right here. This robustness says Nikon quality. It says everything I need as a professional and the experience of this camera, right? I need to know it can take a knocking or two. If I'm traveling, if I'm on a go, I need to have a camera that can keep up. The last camera system that really compared to this, that really caught my attention, was Fuji. Let's be honest. Fuji has done a fantastic job with their XT series of cameras. They look sexy. Build quality is great. Image quality is awesome. Black and white is stellar. Shout out to Fuji for that. So if this even comes remotely close to that, or I would say surpass it, because this is full frame while those are crop, it's making Nikon sexy and cool again. This retro is what's cool. I bet people will buy it just like I have this camera. I never use it. It's a mint condition, but I love it. I will never get rid of this because it just looks cool on my shelf. It's a background of all my videos. I love it. And so if this is a camera that gives me that same kind of cool, fun appeal, enjoyment out of photography again, it's going to be a good buy. It's going to be a good buy. I can see many people, not just us older fuddy-duddies who just want an excellent professional camera like a Z8 and Z9. This is kind of like in between that. This is going to allow prosumers or just average hobbyists that just want to enjoy high-quality images out of a cool-looking camera. And guess what? When we buy our lenses, when we buy our gear, that's half the things we think about. Man, this stuff looks cool. Our camera bag, wow, this looks cool. Yeah, we do. Let's be honest. That's why we have more than one camera bag, okay? These are just my opinions. These are just Nikon rumors. I want to know what you think down below. I want to know what you think about this camera. Is this for you? Who do you think this camera is for? Or do you just ultimately don't give a good god darn, okay? You know what I mean? So let me know down below. Okay, thank you. I really appreciate you checking out this video. And of course, if you enjoyed this video and you would like to see more, don't forget to press that like, that share, that subscribe, and yes, smash that bell icon to get notifications for my upcoming content. I'm Robert Silver, and until next time, keep shooting and stay creative.